Hi, my name is Leah Moore. I am a freshman nursing major at the University of Delaware. Today I'm going to be presenting a spoken word on the Loving versus Virginia court case. This is a well-known case, but I wanted to educate further than what happened in the courtroom in 1967. This topic is sincere to me because of my interracial background, and I wanted to educate further. Thank you and enjoy. The couple who was lucky enough to change it all, Richard and Mildred Loving. Mildred was of Native American descent and was an activist in the civil rights movement of the 1960s. Richard was of English and Irish descent and was a construction worker during this time period. The two secretly fell in love and began dating. At the age of 18, Mildred became pregnant and ended up marrying Richard not long after. Eventually, the couple had 3 kids in total, with 2 boys and 1 girl, Peggy, Donald, and Sidney Loving. As the couple couldn't marry in their home state of Virginia, they went to D.C. for marriage. After marrying on June 11, 1958, they were taken to jail only 5 weeks later, forced from their bed in the midst of the night. They were accused of violating the Racial Integrity Act of 1924. This act required that all birth certificates and/or marriage license must include the person's race as either white or colored. The couple was given an ultimatum of 1 year in prison or to move out of the state of Virginia for 25 years. Mildred decided it was best to move her family to D.C., and after staying for only 5 years, Mildred knew that she had to fight this. During the time, she wrote to Robert Kennedy for help on building a case. Robert Kennedy advocated for human rights issues and social justice during this time in government. He suggested her to the American Civil Liberties Union, whose goal was to protect the constitutional rights of all Americans. The Lovings case was then assigned to Bernard Cohen and Philip Hirschkopf. These attorneys were both right out of law school and had little to no experience on big cases, aka the Supreme Court case. Their trial was based on Virginia violating the 14th Amendment, which gives citizenship rights to anyone born in the United States. On June 12, 1967, the court deemed that Virginia's anti-miscegenation laws were unconstitutional, violating the protection of the 14th Amendment. This is a day in history that many look back on as a step towards freedom and peace. This ruling helped over 16 other states repeal its law on anti-miscegenation. While growing up as a little girl, you don't tend to see the hatred that comes along with race. Now, being an adult, it is clearly placed in front of me. The problem is still in our world today. Being in the 21st century, this is now accepted. I say that with quotations for the simple fact that racism still does indeed exist. This not only applies to me or my family, but millions of other colored kids around the world. I come from an interracial parenthood. My mother is Caucasian, my father is African American. As I didn't grow up in a horrific time period of racism, I still experience racism in my life. Richard and Mildred Loving took a leap of faith for not only themselves, but for the sanity and peace of all others. Because of their courage, I have 2 beautiful parents who can legally marry in the United States without fear of being ripped from their bed. This has shaped Black history forever.